Okay, so I've got my timing tool in the bottom, so I've got all the not the valves, I've got all the pistons all centralised, so it's 90 degrees off top dead centre. Just going to pop on the cylinder head gasket now. I've ensured it was all clean up the top, just give it a last wipe, just to make sure there's no foreign matter on there. We don't want anything that'll prevent this gasket from working. Just doesn't seem to want to go over this last guide here. Typically, there we go. So that's the new gasket in place. Very carefully now I will sit the head on the top. Again, I've wiped the underside of the head. Just got to get it lined up. And that is it. Ready to bolt back down. So I'm just going to be popping all the head bolts in now, just so. So new torque to yield bolts. We do need the washers on as well. 10 of. Yeah, so the torque to yield bolts will be basically stretch bolts. Yeah, so they're going to be tightened down to 50 Newton meters. And then a 90-degree turn, I do believe, but I will confirm that when I get to the torque. I'm quite sure it's 90 degrees, which will then put the stretch on the bolt to the correct yield, hence they're called torque to yield. Just a little bit tricky to get this washer on here, so I'll have to drop it in. Oh, there we go. Just line that up, magic. So we've got another 2 bolts here, which are shorter, and then a shorter one even still. So the very short one is for the end, down there, and then these 2 with the washers already on, just for the ends here. If you haven't got these 2, you've bought the wrong bolt set kit. So you are going to need them. Okay, just a case of tightening these down now, just with the drill. Again, working inside out, even though I'm not doing much torque on these at the moment, just to get them in. Okay, slightly more smaller torques, these ones. So that's all the bolts in place. As I say, I'm just going to do the torque tightening now, and then we'll do the 90-degree stretch, and that'll be that head back in position. Okay, so the torque specs are found out, which is 30 Newton meters or 22.1 foot-pounds. Sequence is closest to me in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So on with the first one. I've already done the first. And just work my way around. So on to number 2. Okay, so that's the first stage done. Second stage is 90 degrees all the way around in the same sequence, 1 to 10. And then the third stage again is another 90 degrees all the way around. And then that's that torque down. Okay, so for the first 90 degrees, so I'm just going to do this pretty much by eye, so just get it roughly in line with longitudinal of the engine, and then just pull it round to the 90-degree point. So here we go. So that's just off the straight. Okay, so second stage now is 90 again, all the way around. Okay, it's just 9 and 10 to do now, and that's all them done to the second, the third stage. And 90. Good, so that's all the head bolts done, apart from these 2 smaller ones and the one down the side. They're a different torque setting. So the 2 smaller bolts, they're 15 Newton meters or 11 foot-pounds. And then in essence 180 degrees, but do them in stages 90, 90, 90, 90. The last bolt here, which is the smallest of the head bolts on reassembly, that's purely 30 Newton meters. there's no any degree turn on that, or second stage or third stage. Just tighten to 30 Newton meters. Okay, next stage is to clean the shell bearings off, and then we can locate the camshaft back in, or the exhaust camshaft. I've got some pre-lube or cam lube to put on these, just to help it bed in until it gets some oil from the oil pump when we start the engine back up. Okay, so see, I've got the camshaft back in place. I've got it roughly at the 90-degree position, ready to put on the timing tool, which is about there, one thinks. So again, I'm just putting a dab of cam lube on these shell bearings before I put them on, so they've got to go back in the order that I took them off. And these get tightened down to 10 Newton meters. Yeah, so I'll continue now, just hand tighten all these and then do that final torque of, as I say, 10 Newton meters, and then I can get the timing tool put on there in position, and we can start reinstalling the timing chain, cam and intake shafts. Okay, so just about to line the exhaust and intake cams up now using the timing locking kit. So we need this one on first, I believe. I've just got to move the cam. You can see I've got an adjustable on there on the end nut, because we do have to push down on a bit of pressure, spring tension now. Bolts in 10mm, and then we do the same with the other cam. That one's lined up already, so that's good. Again, bolt that down onto there so it locks into place. So it is slightly out, this one, so I do need to move. Screw the last one down. You only need to be hand tight, we don't need to be overzealous with these. And again, we can see the writing is pointing directly up, which is another indication that we've got it in the right orientation. Yeah, so that's it. Lock and tool into place, so that's the camshaft and intake shaft locked into place, and also the pin in the bottom. That's going into the, that's basically securing the crank onto the pin goes into the flywheel, which. Okay, so we just want to put the timing chain back in now, so we can. Just do these just so these are just holding the guide in place. Now I can just put the sprockets back on. Now it is important you put the intake on the intake and the exhaust on the exhaust. So just put that loosely on there. This is the intake Venus. Now you do have to again replace the bolts with stretch bolts or torque to yield. So I've got the main crankshaft bolt there, and then the two camshaft bolts for exhaust and intake. So I'll just pop one of them into there. We'll go through the torque specs in a more. As I say, I'll just put them on hand tight for now. Exhaust on as well. One does have less teeth than the other, so if you do get these mixed up, you won't have timing issues. No doubt. Now, it doesn't matter where these go on here, they don't line up with anything as long as they're on at this stage anyway. And put the other new torque yield bolt in there. Again, just hand tight. Got the top guide. Again, just take these bolts out that I put back in there so I didn't lose them, and I know where they go. Again, these will be 10 Newton meters, 8 mils. Okay, so on to the torque tighten. As I said, it's, or whether I did say, I can't remember, 20 Newton meters for each. The variable timing this, so we've got Venos on both rather than just one like some of the first generation minis. So yeah, 20 Newton meters and then 180 degrees on each of the bolts if you do have variable timing. Again, just make sure you have got the right Venos on the right cam, i.e. exhaust on the right, inlet on the left. So I've already torque tightened that to 20 Newton meters each. So I've just got to do basically half a turn, which is our 180 degrees. So I've got torque wrench nice and straight. And we just turn this all the way around. To that position there. Just move slightly on the tilt there. A bit of a panic on. There we go. And next one. Yeah, so that's relatively straight there. All the way around. Does seem to be very tight, but remember they are torque to yield bolts, so they are stretching as we tighten this up. There we go. 180 degrees each. So that's them locked in place. So now we've got to do the chain tensioner. Pop that in, and then I can tighten up on the bottom of the crankshaft bolt. Now the crankshaft bolt is 50 Newton meters, and again 180 degrees on the stage 2. Well, that's all fantastic. Well, I didn't do videos of assembling everything. It's fairly straightforward, all the rest. Obviously, if you took the engine apart, you'll be able to put it back together. So, inlet manifolds on, all cabling and wiring is all reconnected. Just ready for the airbox on here. I've just left that off for now. There's no reason why I can't put it on, actually, I will. So, yeah, top covers on. Engine, the mount or the bracket for the mount. We've got the catalytic converter back on, exhaust manifold, coolant manifold with new seal on. Again, all cables connected. We've got the fuel injection rail fitted back on, and obviously the associated cabling for that. So yeah, we're in a good place. Dipsticks back in. It's pretty much the engine all sorted. Ready to accept a gearbox. Once I get the gearbox on, this can go back in the car. So an update on the gearbox. I contacted a gearbox specialist at Newcastle, and they will take these this gearing off the shaft and replace the second gear and synchro, second gear synchro. However, I have to supply the parts, so I'm busy looking for that particular part there. Second gear in the synchro, as we know from previous videos, that is goosed. Once I get that, I can put this gearbox back together. So yeah, I'm at a bit of a stalemate at the moment, but yeah, I've enjoyed that. Yeah, it's been really good. So look forward to the one of the next episodes where we get the gearbox reassembled, new clutch fitted, gearbox put onto the engine, and we'll continue from there. Dilly dilly. Okay, so I've put the new clutch on. So I'm now just awaiting the gearbox. I've decided just to order a second-hand gearbox. Quicker, easier, cheaper. Comes with a 6-month warranty. That's here hopefully before the weekend, and then I might be able to get it fitted, which would be great. And then I can get the engine put back in. Dilly dilly.